policy start to be a catalyst that will make business easier for the smugglers. That's just going to make things life easier for them. What do you think? What's your take on this?
Well, it is the whole idea is to smoothen the process of trade across the sub-region. If you have a situation where you have a single currency, but for me, actually, for now, we should not be worrying about the issue of currency. We should worry more about removing current barriers to trade. The payment system could be an issue, but it's not the biggest problem for now. Because the whole idea of the monetary union and single currency is to further ease the payment system. But now we have quite a number of even Nigerian banks that exist in virtually all the West African sub-region. Then we have the main regional bank, which is EcoBank, which is also facilitated. So the payment system has been eased significantly. What we need to worry about is to worry about the issue of competitiveness. Because if you are even producing within the sub-region and your cost of production is so high, the temptation to continue to trade outside the sub-region will still continue to be very high. So we continue to have this challenge of smuggling. It may not be smuggling between one sub-region to the other, but it could be smuggling from outside the sub-region, from Asia, from all sorts of places, to the sub-region.
But if we get the economics and the whole process of economic integration right, would it get rid of smuggling within this West African?
It may not get rid of it.
And why is that?
Yes, what will happen is that because if your cost of production remains very high, you have situations where you don't have power, your cost of transportation is so high. You have situations where the product is landing from Asia at about 1/3 the cost of your local production within the sub-region. That in itself will create an incentive for smuggling. So to deal with smuggling, of course, this integration could minimize it, particularly if we are talking of products that are produced within the sub-region. So the issue of hiding it and all of that will be removed, will be eradicated. But the risk of still having situations where products will come in from outside the continent because the products are cheap, they will land in one part of the sub-region and begin to be smuggled in the name of free trade area or in the name of integration into other sub-regions. It also poses a problem. Because right now we have that problem. That's what we call certificate of origin. Under the free trade agreement, any goods produced within the sub-region under the ETLS, that's trade liberalization scheme, you can trade freely within the sub-region.
That has been ratified by
that is already. But what is happening is that some unscrupulous guys will import products from China and relabel it as if it is produced in one of the countries in the sub-region.
Okay, let's look at that. Something you talked about free trade areas as a way of, if you like, export promotion efforts. There have been a couple of free trade zones set up here and there, Calabar, Lagos, and all of that, to create incentives, export incentives for people within the member states of the sub-region. Now, with these export zones, do you foresee a possibility of perhaps moving towards meeting some of the critical needs for integration, market integration?
No, there are different concepts. The free trade zones that we have are basically export processing zones. They are basically to encourage investors to use local resources to produce for exports. And there are incentives like import duty waiver, tax waiver,
waivers.
and all of that. And the whole idea is to see how it can impact on the domestic economy, because we expect that first maybe local input will come in, local labor will be engaged, foreign exchange will be earned, and so on and so forth. So it is more
positive impact on domestic markets.
Yes.
Would it be totally irrelevant to the sub-region as a whole? That's, I'm looking at it as, if Nigeria does that, Ghana perfects it, Togo perfects it.
The export processing zones, yeah.
Wouldn't it have overall impact in the sub-region?
it could have it will have an impact in the sub-region, but the primary objective is not about the sub-region. The target of an export-free zone or export processing zone is to target the global market as much as possible. You harness domestic resources, labor, raw materials to be able to produce for export.